I'm going to present the part of the menu control tools called Table of Content. This part, Table of Content, has two. There is a top part and a lower part. The top part enables to create a new sheet in the workbook containing, I'm going to show, containing the information on the file. Let's do it. Okay, it creates a sheet called Table of Content in a rather short time with a list of links to each sheet in the workbook. It counts the links between the sheets, and you have also the information of the connection present on each sheet. I'm going to show another example with a larger file. And table of content that has already been created. I can create it again by clicking on the top of the button. It takes about 30 seconds. All the sheets in the workbooks are scanned, even the hidden ones. You see it progressing, scanning formulas, counting the sheets, advancement. And then we have it in 40 seconds for this rather large file. We have a link for each sheet. You see the color of each tab is reproduced in the table, and you have the list, the number of links. For instance, we have 10 links on the sheet Analyse Monde HKR, linking two dimensions. There are 10 times written dimensions here. Okay. Here is a hidden sheet. If I click on the link, nothing happens because the sheet is hidden. And also at the bottom, I can find what is present in the cell A1 for each sheet in the vertical way or in the horizontal way, but it's the same information. For instance, on Table Produit Maison, we have retrieve MHPNLM in the sheet A1 present here. This is made to have a link or between the A1 value and the deluxe refresh all function. In the presentation, we have hypertext links to sheets. It can be used as a summary. The sheet tabs are reproduced both ways to create crossings. If you find a difference in a serial of identical sheets, it can help to identify anomalies. There is also a comment behind the links that contains the name of the cube or application, the server, and the type of the sheet. And say L1, A1 is registered. Okay. So this is the top function of table of content, and below there are the file itself. We are seeing now current control tool presentation. We are going to see now the chart of account file. It's just an Excel file. It presents the Moitensi Wines and Spirits chart of account. You have a map of the applications present in Topaz. How do the load cubes can be seen in the profit and are consolidated inside the houses cubes, free cubes, and the link also how the consolidations calculations are set. You have the documentation of the program, the project, which dimensions are present in the cubes, the accounts itself presented by team, and then you have a different part that you can access directly from the very first sheet. You can find and search for accounts inside the chart of account. If you want to type, let's say, profit, any kind of keyword, if you have something in mind but you don't remember, you can type a few letters and it will look inside the codes that are present here and there, also in the labels, and you will have the choice to include definition or not to include definition. If you know that this part of text is present is just in the label or code. You can look for STD or volumes, and when you have found the account you want to know about, let's say for instance this one, volume in liter for allocation, you can click on the blue button and the sheet will be automatically moved to the next sheet and to the second. It will jump from this one to this one. You have the presented information for this account, which level it is, what is the topic, where is it include as a group, its definition, what does it include, what does it exclude, specific rules, if this account is in apport marché, is in P&L, or in other volumes. What is its unit? What is the sign it should be in usually? And how data are recorded for actual, for forecast, full year, for forecast phasing. If there is a specific formula, we've come from this sheet to that one, and if we come back just to the sheet before, we will be on the account itself to see where it is in the hierarchy. For instance, volume liter is there. If I had chosen something else, let's say ANP or advertising. Let's say I was looking for that one. Consumer other, purchase other. Let's say I want to go. And if I come, I have the page for this. You also have some kind of Cyrus code. If I come back to the sheet that is before, I am on the account itself, consumer order, and I can see where it is inside the hierarchy. So that is for the main use of the chart of account. This is presenting the account layout of the with a top-down approach. Net sales is the parent of the below members. This one is the parent of these two, and you have the reverse where this is the down to top approach, where this is summed into this. And you also have screenshots from the Cyrus hierarchy. So that was for the chart of account presentation. You will also have the topaz dimensions presentation with all dimensions. You can see which dimension are present in which cube, which is also present in the documentation of the chart of account. You have the company dimension, currency dimension, the selling currency between companies if necessary. You can search for products with the same approach as seen in the chart of account. Let's see about company. Here you have the company. For instance, the company in Russia, the currency they are operating in. If they operate in caisse normalisée or equivalent bottles, or if they are major NSC or champagne or Chandon Estates and Wines. And that will be the all this is necessary. You can go and look inside for instance, the channel dimension with its current layout, domestic visitor centers, summed into duty paid. You have very often in the sheets you can open the hierarchies if you need, or if you want to see them in detail. You can go to the region dimension, and you can discover the codes and labels. In that column, you have the example of a simple formula to shorten labels to take away a region. It can be useful sometimes. So you can access almost any dimension, for instance, also the countries, the accounts for the free project, calculating the effects. If I come back, then you have access to 3 documents: calendar, mailing list for Maison Région, and regions mapping. These 3 files are located on the MH Finance SharePoint site, which needs to be enabled to access to that SharePoint. There's a tool to check which consolidations are checked for the day. For instance, we see that today, for the consolidation that will take place in about 40 minutes, we have these houses selected for actual demand 2019 and dummy 2020 and heady 219. We can see which one, but this requires to have the the Oracle client installed. Below, there's a presentation. There's some kind of Excel diagnosis for its status, investigating how many instances of Excel are running on the computer at the moment. For instance, you see there I have only one instance of Excel, so that's enough. That's the best to have only one, but it can happen that in the presentation it can happen that you have several sessions, and if you have more than one session, you can click on find and terminate, and it will close the instance different than the one you are clicking from, than the one that you are presently seeing. And at the end of the menu, you have access to a Smart View checkup that will look into the registry editor to see if the values are correctly set. Smart View present at startup in Excel. Smart View present at startup in Outlook. It's not necessary. Which version you are operating on. If there are some disabled items, what are the timeout settings for internet? That's about fine. And you have at the very end of the menu a process to restore Smart View settings with our best with our recommendations. You can use it, and you will be prompted to restart Excel at the end. It prompts me in French because I'm on a French computer. You will have it in English if you are on an English computer. You can go. Then my settings have been reset. So that was the presentation of this knowledge part with the table of content and below. Thank you.